Okay, we start with the question of finding the unknown side of a right triangle. Now, if we have a triangle with a side 12 and a side 5, what's the length of the third side? Somebody brought up the Pythagorean theorem, recited it, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Let's see exactly what that means. Okay? The right angle's here. Opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse. So the first thing you want to do when you look at a right triangle is identify the right angle and the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is going to be the longest side, and that's fairly obvious. The other two sides are called the legs, and we can label them the legs A and B traditionally, and the hypotenuse is C. So that the formula a squared plus b squared plus c squared can be used to calculate the length of one side if you're given the lengths of the other two. Okay, in this case, we see that the two legs of the triangle, the two sides that make up the right angle, or the two sides that we would say are adjacent to the right angle, are 12 and 5. So that means that in terms of the formula, we would say A is 12, B is 5. It doesn't really matter which one of these is A and which one is B. But what does matter is which one is C, so we've got to be very careful about that. So C is the one we're trying to find. That's the hypotenuse opposite the right angle. If we plug in the numbers into the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we get A is 12, so we have 12 squared, B is 5, so we have 5 squared, and C is unknown, so we're going to leave that as C squared. Of course, C is what we're trying to find, and what we now have is an equation that can be solved for C. So, reversing the sides to put C over here just because we're more used to having the unknown on the left and the result on the right. We got c squared equals 12 squared plus 5 squared. 12 squared is 144, 5 squared is 25, they add up to 169. So c squared is 169, meaning that c is the square root of 169, which is 13. Okay? Now, let's try this triangle. And don't look at what we've done. Stop and think this through yourself. And then also this triangle. Don't look at the solution. Don't even let your eye glance at it for a second. Stop and write down what you would get for these two triangles. What the Pythagorean theorem would tell you about these two triangles. Okay, hopefully you've paused and done that. For this triangle, we start by identifying the side opposite the right angle. That would be our side C, and that's 25. So we see that C is 25. Now this side could be A or B. If we want to call this A, we call this B. That's fine. So we have B squared, which is 15 squared. We then have A squared plus 15 squared equals 25 squared, which is something that's going to be very easy to solve. We subtract 15 squared from both sides to get A squared equals 25 squared minus 15 squared. Then we do the arithmetic. 25 squared is 625, 15 squared is 225. We subtract those, we get 400, so A squared is 400. A is the square root of 400, which is 20. Now, some people in class immediately just wrote down 15 squared plus 25 squared equals c squared without identifying the fact that the 25 is your hypotenuse c because it's opposite the right angle. You want to be careful about that. If you wrote down that, well, if that's what you wrote down, the 25 here, say, and the 15 here, that would actually be what you get for this triangle. And this triangle is clearly different than this triangle. Here the 25 is this leg. Here the 25 is the hypotenuse. So for this triangle, we can write 25 squared plus 15 squared equals c squared because these are the 25 and the 15 are the legs of the triangle, and the hypotenuse is what we're trying to find. So if we write that down, we get this equation, 25 squared plus 15 squared equals c squared, which gives us c squared equals, well, 25 squared is 625, 15 squared is 225. That adds up to 850. So C is the square root of 850, and that comes out somewhere close to 29 1/6, which would round off to 29.2. And you can use your calculator to see what that comes out to more accurately if you need it. Okay, if you only need a 3 significant figure answer, an answer in this case to the 10th, then this is a perfectly good result. The thing you need to understand is, again, that the hypotenuse is opposite the right angle, and be very careful of whether you're talking about a leg or a hypotenuse.